South and Bend. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today.
Spoon TV.
This one you got today.
Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment. On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of spoon, spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South and Bend. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. To spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat kepa, congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon, radio, tuto spoon. Yeah, tuto spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? This one you got today.
School TV.
This one you got today.
Okay, good evening from Odious Congo Town in Monrovia, Liberia, and a pleasant welcome to yet another breathtaking edition of the Spoon Talk on Spoon FM and TV Live on Fabric FM as well as on Fabric TV. So wherever you are this evening, we'd like to welcome you wholeheartedly, and of course, it promises to be very, very interesting as usual. So let's now cross over to James Goode Flomo and Dr. Richardson to start up the program.
Hello.
Good evening, Doc. How are you?
Good day. I'm hearing the echo.
Yeah, myself, I got an echo.
But I think
yeah, it's good. It's good. You guys hear it's good.
we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing today?
Come on, me.
Oh, that's
I'm good from my end.
That's awesome. Glad to know that you guys are live and alive and awake, and we're here to provide information to Liberians around the world and passionate lovers of Liberia, so that everybody can be able to make some more informed decisions about the path of our country. So I'm glad to be here today. It was rather kind of a slow day for me today. Obviously, you guys know that I work from home a lot, so we had to get some work done. I'm actually just finishing up. So what's going on at your end?
Yeah, just a few trending national happenings for the past 2 days now. Students of the Monrovia Vocational Training Center have been protesting concerning, conditions affecting their learning activities at the institution. Specifically, they've been protesting over the lack of training equipment for various trade shops at the institution, the irregularities of instructors on their campus, lack of stationery, among several other things. So today they had a dialogue with the Minister of Youth and Sport, Minister Zilgal Wilson. They sat on the round table, and Minister Zilgal Wilson was able to make several promises to them about a lot of their plots being resolved in the soonest possible time. And also from Bone County, it's been reported there that a man who is believed to be in his mid-20s, in person of Junior Alaye Flomo Moba, beat on his former girlfriend unmercifully. The name of the girlfriend is Esther Fama Kopa. And he beat on her to death. And the former girlfriend, was pregnant. They went into an argument, and he got angry for reasons best known to himself. And he beat on his ex-girlfriend, and she was reported dead after taken to medical facility. And Julian is currently in police custody there in Bone County. And also, Ambassador Bobby Whitfield, who's the CEO of the National WASH Commission, has described the opposition here in Liberia as disjointed and only hateful towards President George Weah. according to them, according to him, the opposition, they not only hateful to President Weah, but to themselves. So he doesn't see any possibility of them winning the pending elections. And ahead of the president's State of the Nation address, he outlined several achievements of the president, including various hospitals that he's built of recent, especially the Emirates Hospital there in Bobolu City, the 14th Military Hospital, and other achievements of the president. So he said, until the opposition can unite, which he sees impossible right now, they cannot, defeat President George Weah. So those are just a few of the major happenings here in Monrovia, Liberia.
And he rather believed that the opposition cannot unite. Wow. He has a very strong hope. His hope is stronger.
Yeah. James, anything from your end? Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, like Yekesi said, most especially the president's State of the Nation address is the one everybody waiting for. And major opposition leaders, including the ANC specifically, they are just ready. And the ANC is noted for that. Before, it used to be the CDC when they were in opposition. It used to be the Liberty Party that used to be very quick to react to the president's State of the Nation address. But as we speak, the ANC is ready, prepared to react to it. And I spoke with some executives, and they said they already know what the president is going to say. It's just a repeat of the old message they saw yesterday. So they believe that is what's going to happen. And they're going to come out to talk about it and react to it. And also, today, Representative Yeke Koluba was seen in the streets with his campaign against the re-election of President Weah. Specifically, he was to World Trade Center. There where he was today speaking to cross-section of young people, enlightening them, telling them what should be done and why the CDC's administration should not return to power after October 10. And he also said that is going to be one of his major priorities beginning now. He's going to make sure to go all out, giving his message to people, playing music. And, he believes that music will give more message out and young people will be attracted to music. So he's going to use music to go throughout the 15 counties preaching against the re-election of President Weah. Good I hear you?
James, thank you for that news. I saw Kev was here briefly, and then he's gone. I just wanted to welcome him to the show. I'm going to go ahead and just welcome all of our viewers and guests, and then we can begin to just explore some of the issues of today. Some of what you have mentioned here, we can go into it. But I'm just going to start. I'm not going any particular order, so just so you know that. I want to start by saying hello to Seya El Dule, I believe, Isaac Swara, Chris Moore. I want to say hello to you. C. Tyrus Williams, also hello to you. Marcus Doe, I want to say hi to you. Luis Goben, I want to say hello to you as well. Patricia Titi Taylor, I want to say hi to you.
Come back.
Peter James Mulva, hello to you. Tay Marquesa is watching from the UAE. I want to give a special shout out to all of those in the UAE. Thank you for joining us. Elizabeth Bigboy Kekula, he's watching from Philadelphia, USA. Ayomba Mohammed Sunny is also watching. Sarafina T. Habu is watching. Thank you for joining us. All of those who are joining us, I want to tell you thank you. Isaac, Mike Obari, Isaac, I can't even get your name, is going so fast, but I know it's Isaac something here. I hope you know who I'm talking about, Isaac. Musu Cooper, I want to tell you thank you for joining us. Gabriel Rablu, thank you for joining us. Will Wilson, thank you for joining us. Yama Benibila said, good evening, guys. Anthony J.Y. is watching from Caldwell, Morovia. And Prosper David says, hello to the Spoon family. Alex D. says, I'm watching from Burrillville. Hello to you. There S. Wallace is also watching. May Wallow is watching. Thank you for joining us. Cabena Sheriff is watching from Barnesville. Morris A. Kamara is watching from France. Morris A. Kamara, thank you for watching us. And all of those who are in France, thank you for joining us. James Tarnu says, thank you. Says, good diploma. Hello, your strong brother.
Don't matter, man.
He's Georgia. Patrick Carnu is watching from Atlanta, Georgia. Moses G. Bono is also watching. James Dolo is watching. Alexander B. Reeves is watching from Buncheman City, Lafayette County. Alexander B. Reeves and all of those that are in Buncheman City, thank you for joining us. It's good to have you here today. Cornelius Patrick Labola is watching from New Delhi. Oh my goodness, we have New Delhi, England. I'm sorry, New Delhi, India. Oh gosh, England, New Delhi, India in the house. Thank you very much for being here. Asha Wuluge is from Zedru, Grand Jide County. Thank you for joining us, Asha. And all of those that are watching from Zedru, Grand Jide, we are thankful that you are here today. Doris Tonian Thompson is watching from Silver Springs, Maryland. Doris, thank you for being here. And Small Ball Montari is watching from Rock Island, USA. Want to welcome you to the show. Kabunin Sheriff, we already talked already. John V. Tia is watching. James Jaker from Abuja. Oh, got Nigeria in the house. Thank you for watching from Nigeria. And I'm going to stop here. Just Wilmot T. Knuckle is watching from Minnesota. Wilmot, thank you for watching. And I want to just tell all of you that have joined us, thank you for being here today. Appreciate your presence. It's a happy Friday outside. I hope you have some plans to relax and have a wonderful weekend. I know some of you are working, when you live on this side of the world. Yes, work. Sometimes even on Saturday and Sunday you work. So thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to having a spirited conversation. We're going to be dissecting the issues that are important for Liberia. We're going to be discussing and imparting information for people to make informed decisions about how our country is supposed to move forward. We come here and give you our views of the different happenings in the country, and we hope that you can then take it and filter it in and make decisions about what is best for Liberia, what is the what will make Liberia a more deserving country for all of us. James, I wanted to go back to some of the issues you guys presented today.
Okay.
So I heard Yekesi talking about the Morovia Vocational Training Center, and he said that they're complaining about an inadequate facility. They don't have enough paper. They don't have enough training equipments in the facility. I don't know. Do you know anything about that?
But not having adequate materials or laboratory materials within these institutions, including high schools, like the school I graduated from, the William V.S. Todman High, where we used to use rope and old cup in our biology lab and chemistry lab. They are normal phenomena in Liberia. Yeah, specifically government institutions. At least few, one or two private schools will try their best. It is a very serious issue in Liberia. You learn it, but what you're learning in theory, in terms of practical, when you go for the practical, you don't see it. You see something that will, distract you from what you learn in theory. So yeah, I'm aware of that, and the vocational school should be equipped with all the materials that they need. But again, you can blame the school administrators if the government is not providing them. What happened next? Who will you blame? Nobody.
True. That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah. Yeah. It's such an integral part of learning when
it's
you can have,
powerful.
yeah. Yeah. No, I was just curious that they had like the youth and sport minister they're speaking to them as opposed to somebody else, like you think the minister of education. So I was wondering what was going on with that.
Yes, the vocational school is directly linked with the youth and sports ministry. Yeah, it is like an institution intended for young people, transformation of young people, empowering them. So they are responsible for it. Yes, it is educational, but uh, in terms of the function, how you term it, the oversight, you have to look up to the youth and sports ministry. They are in direct link with it. Yes, the educational part will come, education ministry will come in, but it is the youth and sports ministry.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, all we can do is pray that there will be more money and someone responsible will address the needs of the students. That's all we can pray to have happen. I think is education in our country is so crucial for the next generation and for the success of Liberia. I really think so, but like you said, it's a age-old problem. It's also, widely spread. It's not isolated to just the MVTC
No,
center
no, it's not.
schools. So we really have to work on that as a country. Um, and then
And just
mhm,
before you
go ahead,
leave,
go ahead.
and I think the students of those institutions, including the vocational school, I think this is the time that they need to go at the capital to protest. If they protest or they meet with their lawmakers, I believe in Maserati, meet with Senator Dillon, Senator Joseph, and the various representatives, including the district that the vocational school is within. Uh, I think they now have the time to reappropriate what should be intended for that institution because the budget is right before them. They are now looking at it to say, hey, Mr. President, this is good, this is not all right, add this up, deduct this, and do more addition. So I think if they want to protest it before your school, yes, it's okay, but they should redirect their protest to Capitol Hill, where they will be stationed there seeking, redress, calling on their lawmakers, the entire legislature, calling on them that we need improvement in these sectors or our school, we are lacking these things. Maybe they can add up the youth and sports budget, honor that, sector, so they can improve on them.
Yeah, that'd be good. Just somebody to pay attention to how we allocate money
Yeah.
to our school. It's all weird. Speaking about that, good day. So I was reflecting last night after the conversation with Senator Kuhn.
Yeah.
And one of the questions I asked him was what happened to the $7.5 million that was supposed to be allocated for the people of
Nimba.
yes. And of course, he said it went into the government's coffer, and I'm not quoting him exactly, but this is my understanding. It went into the government's coffer, and I think he went on to explain that the government had to pay, maybe they had to pay salaries, maybe they had to pay for something else. And so I started thinking about the legality of using money that was intended for one purpose for another purpose. So
You thinking about legality in terms of the usage of national phones in Liberia? Uh, you can still think about the nine international institutions near Monrovia, the embassies near Monrovia. What happened? Yeah, no, with that they are good at it. Anyway, Kevin is here. He knows about his government, what they are good at. He knows how
sure,
his government is good at
maybe he can.
diverting plan A to C.
Uh, yeah, so maybe Kev, maybe you can. I don't know if you heard what I said, but maybe if you have any thoughts on that. I was just thinking last night and thinking about how I didn't get enough answer. I was thinking about how when I had asked Senator Cohn about the $7.5 million that were due to the Nima people, and he said that he believes that the money went into the government coffers and it was probably used for other things, maybe to pay salary. This is not the first time we heard this. I heard this before when somebody said the money for the room phone was used to pay salary as well. So I started to think about the legality of doing such allocation where money was for one thing, then they use it for another thing. Is that something? I don't know. Yeah, go ahead, Kev.
Okay,
Sorry.
I think he's doing something.
Okay, no worries. No, so that's just what was on my mind when it came to, I was just thinking about it. Maybe that should have been a follow-up question of mine. Maybe I would have gotten more um, answers from the senator. But again, that was just a thought that I had. Sometimes after the show, I reflect and ask and see, okay, what did I understand or what did I understand? So in talking about, the MVP, I mean, the MVTC schools and the budget and what they need, that's what I thought about. So we moved on. I think Yekasi moved on to Bond County. Um, that's such a tragedy.
It's sorrowful.
I don't even know how to speak about that. It saddens me. Um, that's number one. And there's also there's an underlining, underlying thought of women are just not valuable in our society, that people can just beat them up, kill them, cut them to pieces. Um, you know, that's what I'm thinking. I just thinking there's just the underlying thing that women are just they're just not valuable into our society because of if you're pregnant. I mean, who beats on a pregnant woman? Who does that?
That's the most sorrowful part of it. Yeah, I saw that today. I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, wow. In fact, she's your ex. What are you going back to your ex to even try to, get in conflict with them? Move on. Be a man enough and just move on. Instead of getting, and I don't know, even when I was in Liberia, Bone County, even from the time I was smaller in Lofa County, Bone County is noted for terrible death like that. People killing people. If you look at the reports of murder in Liberia at time, Bon County is always in the lead. I don't know. I sometimes I just wonder what's the issue. I had a friend when I was back in Feasible, one of our bigger brothers in at the time in Feasible, he was in Banga. He was in Banga riding motorbike. He just got killed terribly. That was around 2000 I think it was around 2007, 8, between that. So it's terrible sometimes. One county people just some people just that is somehow I'm kind of
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't know. I
uh,
mean, yeah,
that,
go ahead. Kev, welcome to the
yeah,
show. How you doing?
yeah, I'm sorry. Friday, Tuesday and Friday are always go to the office. You know what I do. I was complaining this morning to you, right?
Yes, you did. You were
Yeah.
complaining.
So it's part of that I was doing right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I got the situation under control. You know how those consumer are, right?
I understand. Well, if
Yeah.
you need to go, you
No,
definitely.
it's under control. You know the people.
Yes, but I know. I know they will call again. So if you need to take the phone call again, just go ahead.
Yeah.
So what
Fine.
did you
You
hear our
ask
story
your
about?
question. You ask your question. You know,
Mm-hmm.
almost one. Yeah. You can ask again.
Oh, I was just talking to James about my reflection of the show yesterday. I had to leave early because my daughter was receiving the Spotlight Student Award. So I left in the
She did.
queue.
Congratulations to that. She did.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so proud of her. It's my daughter number four. I have four girls and one grandson. And so, when it's a proud moment, not only for your child, but for you as a parent.
Mhm.
So it was really nice. But anyway, I was reflecting. I think, sometimes after the show, we all have these reflections of, did I ask the right question?
Mhm.
Did I listen well? Or how could I have, rephrase my thoughts? And I was thinking, something I had asked Senator Cohn about the $7.5 million that was appropriated for the people of Nimba. And I asked him, what did he think happened to the $7.5 million? And he said to me, or he responded, and I'm not quoting him, that he thought it went to the government's coffer. And then he thought that, it could have been used to be paid, to pay salary. It could have been used to do other things in the government. I can't remember exactly what he said. I remember him saying something about salary. But, and I was sitting there thinking, is it the legality of just using one money intended for one purpose for another purpose? I mean, was that any kind of legal procedure? I know we had this before with the road fund. I remember that. I remember that the finance minister has said that they went to the legislature and they gave him permission to redirect that fund to salary. And I think he also listed that his decision was supported by the international community. He listed a few people who supported him. So I was just wondering if that was the same thing that happened with the $7.5 million that was allotted to the people of Nima County. So I didn't know if anybody had the answer to that, or was there answer to it, or no. So what do you guys think?
Well, you know, yesterday we were talking about this one. I don't know the legality about it, but they also talk about a pool that where most of the money goes into, and then they use it for different issues, including the counties and wherever it go to. So I don't think it's
Hey,
illegal.
Kevin did not explain that part of it. He just said whatever. We know what is whatever.
No, he did talk about the
No,
pool,
I said you try explaining it.
consolidated account. Yeah, that's what he spoke about it. He spoke about it, and then where you go in, it's not where they put the money in there. The money don't have name. He used the word. It doesn't have names. So when you go in there, then they use it for this. Basically, according to the needs. But folks should understand something. Uh, Black Africa, Black Africa, revenue in Black Africa. Uh, it's not an easy thing for a government to generate the revenue. Most of the budget is a projection, as we know that. So
Why?
you can hear why.
Why it is difficult for government to
Yeah,
generate revenue?
that's a good question. It's not only in Liberia. Black Africa revenue is very, very difficult. for government. And normally in Liberia, people will always feel that only in Liberia. But I can tell you, it's a challenge in different. If you want to know, listen to the other country how they explain their budget. So that's the issue we have when it comes to Liberia, places like Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, those places. Then, because of the unrest in this country, it turned out to have an issue. For example, when investors want to come to your country, they look at security, they look at different things. And with Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, those places them don't have that solid ground to say because of our past. A lot of people, and we need that education because of our past to get investors to come to places like Sierra Leone, Liberia. We are not coming from a point of strength because we don't have it because of the war. So if James Flomo want to come to Liberia, he gonna think about security. He gonna think if I'm gonna be safe. Suppose the country go back into war, will I lose my thing? Will I lose the business and I'm bringing? So they look into all those things. But folks will tell you it's easy, they can do it, but that's not true. So you ask yourself, why all the time we will come back to this and have the argument? Because it's not true. The more we having confusion, you see, like for example, you see people from the LU, they on the streets, they're attacking, they're doing this. Investors sitting somewhere and say, "Can I take my money into a country that every day on the street you see people just running around, lawmakers jumping on cars? Can I take my money? It's a serious place there." Because mind you, if investors come into a country, the president don't have the power to just use a power of decree. It gotta go through the lawmaker to look at it, rectify it, do everything. Then, but if you wake up in the morning, see the lawmaker that was supposed to do it jumping on cars, will you take that place a serious place? So we need to have a behavioral change. That's what we need. We need to not scare people away. Sometimes with politics, we scare people away. The more your country is quiet and peaceful, the better for the people because investors will come there. So if I come to you, James Flomo, the next thing, and you open TV and see people running all on the streets, James, let's be serious now. Will you invest in that kind of country? So it's in our hands. Us. We need to have a peaceful and decent country.
You asked me a question?
Well, it was a rhetorical question. You want to answer it?
Let me just also welcome former Mr. Fagon to the show as well. And then I'll allow you to respond to Kev's question. I think he said he was asking a rhetorical question. And then, of course, you can also make an introductory comment, Minister Fagon.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Fagon. Go ahead.
Yeah, after him, I'll come.
And good evening to all of you on the platform. You made reference to what Senator Combs said with respect to the money, and you wanted to know whether it had legal implications. The first thing I want to say is that when Senator Combs said the money does not have a name rating on it when it's placed into the consolidated account, it simply means, as I said before, I worked in the government. The money itself, $10 bill, you can't write $10 NIMA on the money. The money is a portion, and that's why they're claiming it. When the money goes inside, you take out $5, you will not have only NIMA. But what is there is that when the money is paid to the consolidated account, government taxes, the amount for government taxes is there, the amount for royalty is there, the amount for NIMBA is there, bond, everything. That amount is specific. That's why you saw the situation with the road fund. The road fund does not have the physical name, the $10 road fund. No. It says 25 million road fund. So all people know $25 million in the consolidated account is road fund. If you went in that bag and you put your hand in the bag and you hold the bag or nothing in there, you're not asking for whether road fund was written on $5. No. You're asking what happened to our road fund. And that's what Samuel Tuah had to go before the legislature to explain, that you guys gave me the authority to use it for salaries when he was being heckled by the international partners. So again, NIMBA money was paid. You heard Tuah when he appeared before the Senate yesterday. He confirmed that Bonny County $5 million is what? Available. He said they wanted today, sir, tomorrow they can get it, right, James?
Yeah.
So the money name is not written on the money, the $5 or $10 denomination. But the amount, once it goes into that consolidated account, is credited to the institution, the county, and whatever. Now, addressing the issue of legal implication, that is why you will hear people say misappropriation or misapplication of entrusted fund. What does that mean? The legal implication is this money is to be applied here. You agree upon it. That money came as a result of a law, not your thinking or the way you want to do something. So it was the MDA for NIMBA, BOM, BASA. It's a law. The law says this will go this way, this will go this way, this will go this way. And where appropriations are made, as enshrined in Article 34, it is clear, crystal clear. The budget then becomes a law. And the law must be followed to the letter. That's why Tuah was querying again about that road fund, and he had to say, look, I didn't do it. They gave me permission to do it. It's the law. They made the law. They corrected it. And they went back and said, yes, we told him to do it because the budget is a law. So then what is the legal implication? The money was appropriated for BOM, for NIMBA, and for BASA. If the appropriations, that is, here the money should go here, and you took it from there and put it so, or did what you want to do with it, then you have to explain why you did it. And even with the explanation, you can still be held if it was not approved for misappropriation of a trusted fund. Now, if you want to make yourself look handsome, you can say, yes, I got the money, but because it was around holiday and people had to take pay, so I applied the money to salaries. And which people will say, oh, it wasn't bad. But still, the legal implication there is misapplication again, meaning you apply the money to salaries when the money should have been applied to the Social Corporate Development Fund of NIMBA. I will close on that by saying, it is not out of the ordinary that these things happen. What I think is the problem is the gross disregard and disrespect for the people of those counties. They have been chasing you for the money every year. I think it was only appropriate to say, look, we'll try and get your money, but this is the problem we had. They too deserve an explanation, but you spin them in circles for 3 years. I think it's more so about the disrespect and the disregard than it is about the money. And yes, it is a violation of the law because the monies were given year after year, but the people did not get it. Therefore, it was misapplied or misappropriation, and that constitutes some financial crime. It can constitute some financial crime if the explanation does not hold. I shouldn't say it's a crime. It can constitute a crime. For example, you use it then, and they ask you who gave you the authority to use it. You can't call a person. You have misapplied the money or misappropriated the money.
Thank you for your explanation. That's kind of what I was thinking. So that added some light to my thought. James, good day. You wanted to say something to respond to that, and then Kev will go on and respond.
Yeah, Kev was talking about lack of investment into the country, the way the economy is looking. But basically, his point was how Black African governments find it difficult to generate revenue or to raise their budget. Yes, I agree with you. They find it difficult to raise their budget because of the lack of good governance. Countries you see flourishing, they at least they are not 100% into good governance, but they are trying. There's no country where people have no regard for the justice system. You're going to have investors trooping in. You see people going to America, going to France and other countries like South Africa and other countries investing because they are not. It's hard to see a country that is 100% practicing good governance. You have less than 50 countries or 100 countries that are practicing good governance, but at least they are trying. If you have no regard for the justice system, the security system is not working, access to information is not working, who is going to move into that country and invest? Even Kev, if you were a millionaire, were you going to move in and invest into that country? That is one of the reasons why specifically Liberia, you see us, we are just to, point one, going up and down. We're not progressing. Today our budget will go to
one step forward. We take one step forward, two steps back.
One step backward, one step forward, one step backward. That is one of the reasons why you see all like that. Good governance in Liberia, our democracy. Yes, we agreed. We have a democracy, but in terms of good governance, we are backward. Kev, in every aspect of good governance, at least. Somebody will tell you information. Yes, our budget is somehow open. Citizens will talk about it. They know what is in the budget, but the implementation, the realization of the implementation is not seen. It is not being felt by them. Again, people. The last time I was in Liberia, a German investor or a German national got killed by a Liberian. He got killed by a Liberian. So if people in Germany, in France, in Belgium, are seeing this news coming up, you think, are they going to move into Liberia to invest into the economy? And our justice system is not working. How we implement these laws, we are not working on the taxation system. We lack the system. The taxation system is not working. Like here, specifically where I am, everything you do, you pay tax for it. You go buy this phone, there's tax to it. Anything you're doing, you get in the bus, you pay tax for that transportation you pay. But in Liberia, we don't have these things. Even drivers, for them to register their cars is difficult. So how will government raise revenue? How the budget will go forward? So until we can have a government that will forget about themselves and put these systems into place and make sure that when A is A, it should be A. You should not, trace something. And one thing that we can do also in Liberia, I think the next government, or if this government maintains power, that they should do, or future government should do, will be to work in strengthening good governance in Liberia. Yes, we may not get all, but at least we can try. Out of 11, we can try to at least get like 7 correct, 8 or 9. We can try. If we do that, basic places like security, justice system, every country justice system is the backbone of it. A country with too much money, with poor justice system, is not a country. you are just existing, but you are not making impact. So I think that is one of the reasons why Africa is not moving forward, or few African countries governments are not progressing, or their budgets are not moving. Liberia, we are all with a terrible budget system.
Well,
Yes, so Kev, I'm going to allow you to come in. I just want to make a brief announcement. If you're just joining us, we're discussing, good governance in the country, and kind of tie into good governance the issue relating to appropriation or misapplication of money. I think when money funds that were allocated for a certain purpose are misapplicated or misappropriated, that also falls under good governance. So I think, the whole topic, I just wanted to sort of bring it in. So if you just join us, that's what we're discussing right now. Former Minister Fagon gave his opinion. I had asked a question reflected over the response from Senator Cohn yesterday. And then, of course, Good Day just gives his opinion. So, Kev, you want to add to what Good Day said?
you see, you see, if we don't have a different mindset and behavioral change in Black Africa, we're gonna still have the same thing over and over and over again. You know, we in Black Africa, we want to sit aside and say, "Oh, government, government, government," but we do have roles that we need to play too. Let me tell you something. In my state, uh, in my state, the people, the more than the police. I think we have over 11 million or more than that. We don't have 12 million police. But let me tell you, the Americans, they will always open their eyes. They always, they have the thing in this country say, if you see something, say something. In terms of cleaning the country, let me tell you, there's a place, and a lot of people live in America know that. Probably it's in Europe, but mostly in America, called it 7-Eleven. They're open 24/7. So Dr. Richard said, I was going to the 7-Eleven, so I had a piece of paper in my hand. I dropped it on the ground, Dr. Richard said. This guy came for fire in America, in the white America. He told me, he said, shame on you. Pick it up.
Yeah.
Regular guy. He's not a government guy. He's a citizen. He said, shame on you. Pick it up. And guess what? Pick the paper up. And I found trash to put it in. You clean your city today, the next thing somebody else going to trade down. If you tell them to pick it up, Dr. Uche, you walk in Liberia right now, somebody trade that, you say pick it up, that person will fire you. Education. That's your country. So you want the mayor to send somebody to come pick it up for you. Why can't you pick it up for yourself? Why can't you find a place? But people will come and spin it in a way. But we have to hold ourselves responsible. We have to clean our city. Let me tell you, you in America, you wake up in the morning, you see, Dr. Richard, I know you have seen it before. You see an Oma who wake up, going around picking trash on the ground. They're not working for the government. They're doing it on their own. They're picking trash. They want to protect the country. And you go in the neighborhood in America, yeah, you look strange, and you pass it around with your hood. You see police coming from nowhere, coming ask you, because you know what? Somebody not call. See, a strange guy. I went to a shop, a grocery store. So I was in my car. I went in there. I was on the phone. I was talking on the phone. But because I was talking on the phone, I watched them. They was looking at me. I was not picking everything. I had to stop and tell them. I said, "Oh, sorry, I'm talking on the phone because I need to pick up." Because why? Because I just walked in the store and was talking on the phone. I'm not buying anything. Just standing up there. Everybody in the mind are security minded. But in Liberia, they will tell you, they will see something happen. They sit down, they go in the house, they're happy. You see that the government. We have to have a behavioral change, our mindsets. People will say, Dr. Richard, people will say, look at Rwanda, look at Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame ruled by decree. People will say, oh, yeah, election. No. Since 1992, he's been there over 20 something years. Wow, 90, almost 30 years. He ruled by decree. After the war, a million people died in Rwanda from the Hutus and the Tutsi. The first thing he said, I don't want to hear any Hutus, I don't want to hear any Tutsi. All I want to know, you guys are Rwanda. That's it. He ruled by decree. You cannot do that in Liberia. You cannot do that. If you get up in the morning and say, hey, I want to see the people should do this, you do this, you do that, they start saying, oh, you're going out of freedom. War. Things happen. We have to change. You have to look at Liberia as your personal property. That's you, your personal property. When you go to the invisible park, somebody try to do it, stand up and say, you're not doing it yet. When the government clean the trash and somebody want to put it, stand up. They will not do it. Liberians love to complain. Black Africa love to complain, but they are not doing. You know, there's a saying in America, Dr. Richardson, I keep calling your name. What is it? Ask what, can you,
Ask what your country can do for you. No, ask not what your country can do for you, but what can you do for your country?
What can you do for your country?
Ask not what your country can do for you. That was by Kennedy.
Yes. You understand? They're forcing in the people's head that you have to do for your country. You have to do that. But the misinformation they give it in Liberia, they will tell you everything is government, everything is government. Government cannot employ everybody. It's impossible. But our behavior can make James Goode Flomo will come in.
My next topic. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dr.
Yes. So thank you very much. Has Kev and Minister Facon and James. And I think I'm going, before we move on to our next topic, there's like 3 issues that I want to talk about here today. And a minor issue on the side. One is, we already talked about it. My reflection.
Can I suggest something, please?
Sure, please. Yeah.
Can I actually suggest something, please?
Mm-hmm.
Can we time ourselves? It's boring to sit down for 7-8 minutes. So you, the moderator, I know you have your phone in front of you. You got something there relative to time. Maybe you can allot. You decide if it's 3 minutes, 3 minutes. If it's 2 minutes, when we get to the 2 minutes 30 seconds, you just say you got 30 seconds. You know, but it's, for me, it's boring. I believe you can say what you want to say within 2 minutes.
Sure.
Or 3 minutes. It's up to you. But it's boring for me to sit down for 7 minutes.
Thank you for
Thank
that suggestion, because this is kind of how we do it on Spoon Talk. We always give each other time to talk, so this is consistent with the practice here. So I have basically 3 issues that I wanted us to talk about. We already explored one issue, which was my reflection of the $7.5 million that was allowed for the Nima people. I think we sort of kind of tie that into good governance. And I just want to close that topic by saying I think it's a 2-way street. You can only ask not what your government can do for you, but what you can do for your government when your government is already at least doing something that is at an optimal level. It's a 2-way street, I believe that at this point, we are not there yet in our country for multiple reasons. I think that the citizens, you're right, Kev, have their responsibility to Liberia, but I think good governance has to be enforced and practiced more, and that includes the way that we allot money, the laws that we seek to allot money. So after having said that, I think moving to our, I think it's important, being the only female on this show for the moment, for you guys to give me your opinion about what happened in Bunk County to this woman. I don't know if you were listening. James had reported, and Onyekese had reported in Bunk County, a pregnant woman was actually beaten to death by her ex-boyfriend or her ex-significant other. This is a recurring pattern in our country as it relates to women. I personally believe that, I think it's the way how women are viewed in Liberia, in as much as somebody can argue with me and say, oh, we had the first female president um, um, in Africa per se, but women are still treated like second class citizens. They are not valued, and I think it's important for you men to ally with women and tell me your views. What do you think? What do you make of it? James said this is not uncommon for this incident to happen in Bond County. There's something that's going on anecdotally. He didn't do any study or anything like that. That it seems like there's a high percentage of um, beating women, women's side, female side in Bond County. So, what are your thoughts? And I'll start with you, Minister Fagon, and then we'll go to Kevin, and then we'll go to James again. We can't hear you. Yes.
Sorry. I will talk about good governance in the context of investors.
Okay.
And this idea that Africa, then let's look at Africa. We'll look at Africa in the context of Africa. Majority of Africa is doing pretty well. Pretty well. Investors are going all around Africa. What are some of the things investors look at? Investors look at the return on their investment. They look at profits, okay? That is potential for quick profits. They look at tax incentives when they come. They look at the security, the economic climate, the cultural climate. And when you look at Liberia over the past 5 years, why have we not attracted investors that have stayed? Meaning they come, they didn't run away. They know what I'm talking about. It's because the investor come looking for a return on his or her investment. They come looking for potential for profit. They come looking for tax incentives. And then the man come, you say, my man, how am I investing? 100 million. But then you got to drop some kind of 30 L. So when will he's looking for a return. He's looking for profit. He's looking for incentive. But by the time, before he even invests, he's losing. Let me give you a case in point. Western Cluster. You heard the Justice Minister in front of the Senate. That's on an oath. Said the people spend 63 million. Then you go back to Snow, who said the people spend 200 million. Then you come back to the MOU that said they waived 14 million. How be it, if the company have now lifted 1 ounce of iron ore and they have spent that much money, is there a return on the investment? Have they made profit? Have you given them any tax incentive? So we want to blame citizens. That's why they have governments. That's why Kagame is there. That's why Jerry Rawlings was there. That's why Magufuli of Tanzania. And that's why Ramaphosa of South Africa. That's why Uhuru of Kenya. We can go on and on. When when government do bad things and they don't honor the social contract with the people, then you scare investors away. Investment has nothing to do with the people in the country, the ordinary citizens' behavior. I believe investment has to do with a lot to do with good governance. If you create the climate that is attractive to investors, they will come. I bring $100, I want to start grabbing in your country. You take $30 from me. When will I get the return on my investment? When will I make profit? And also, you're not even giving me tax incentives. You tax the garbage out of me because all of you got to eat. And so, our government, the majority of the investment, Asilometer, Western Cluster, Golin Verolium, you name them, come back and tell me how many investments that we have attracted in the last 5 years. We're going to find excuses, but Rwanda will not give you excuse. Tanzania will not give you excuse. Ghana, in fact, we are some of the most contributing forces to the Ghanaian economy right now. So I think good governance, as you talk about it, has to do with political and institutional development. And you can touch on the cultural, economic, and other aspects of good governance that has to do with human rights, the rule of law, and what have you.
Okay.
Do we have it, my sister? I don't think so. And with respect to the Bon County, I feel sorry. But do you know that a couple of months ago, a man killed his wife for so many years for $5 Liberian?
Sure.
Yes. I'll try to dig up the story and give it to you. $5 Liberian. She was killed for it in the same Bon County.
Wow.
Yes. There is a problem in the country. We know there's hardship. But when you guys talk about counseling, we have problems in the country. We have institutions, but those institutions don't work. Piso Serita, you've been the Minister of Gender for the last 5 years. Domestic Violence Act was passed thanks to President George Weah. What are we doing with the law? And what are we doing with the monies the Swedish government and the EU gave? Are you having these clinics?
Minister, if I can let you be mindful of the time now.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to call me out. I'm done? My 3 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. If you do Ministry of Gender sleeping, these things will happen to the women.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately.
Kev Hassan, and then good day.
I go back to what Fagon was talking about. You see, Dr. Richardson, I think we found ourselves in similar situation in terms of work and habits. You know, that's why like people like you, Dr. Richardson, your studies. We need that in Liberia. We need that because politicians need to understand something. I listened to my brother Fagon talking about behavioral change don't have anything to do with investors. When he forgets small thing, like Richard saying, we fought war. We fought war. And due to a certain things, and we fought war, what investors are looking at, if you wake up, and Dr. Richard saying, as investors, and see the streets piling up with people, and every time protest, doing this, doing that, doing this, for no reason. A vice president go to LU, just boo, and just on the street instead of you engaging the vice president intellectually. Investors will have an issue with that. That's why that's a behavioral change. We need, my brother Fagon calling Rwanda, I call him Porkigami. Go back and check. Well, Porkigami went there 1992, if everything was just okay in Rwanda. No. The reason he said no Hutus and Tutsi is because of behavioral change. It changed the mindsets. And like the reason I call you, you know that behavioral change happened. I don't know how to put it. When you change your behavior, it got a lot of things to do with your surrounding, the way we behave, the way we act, even your children behavior. There's so much to do when they go out there in the world. In America, they talk about behavioral change. You should behave, how we behave, what we do. So when you don't go to those things and you just think that the government, my brother Fagon call the Western Coast, of which was signed the MD under in 2011. Not this government, you know that. I saw Mita when I think before Ellen. So when you see all those things then coming up, don't ask. That's the reason when you only talk about 5 years, you are missing the point. When you only talk about Rwanda, you only talk about the romantic side. You talk about Ghana, you talk about the romantic side. What about when Ghanaian was standing on the line for toothpaste? You're not telling Liberian the full story. When you when you listen to my brother Fagon, he will only tell you about 5 years. He's trying to tell you the 170 something years that 5 years gave all that problem, Liberia will find. We have to go back. We have to go back. Look at the antecedents. What happened before? How can we change it? We have to go back. Okay. So if we don't go back, and the only thing we tell Liberian people, that now you calling company that was signed 2011 and put it now. What we need to do is to have a behavioral change for all Liberians. Don't tell me about Rwanda and only tell me the romantic side. Don't tell me about Ghana, only the romantic side. Tell me how they get there, what they did.
Okay, James, we'll go to you and then we'll move on to our next topic. So James, did you have anything else to add to this conversation that we're having, even though I see we're not fully exploring the women beating business, women as second-class citizens. We're still talking about good governance, which to some extent it falls under good governance as well. So go ahead, James. What are your thoughts?
Yes, like I said, right? If we have a better justice system where when these men beat on women, even if you just assault them, you will get prosecuted, and the next man in the community will get the news that yes, James got prosecuted for just
a deterrent. It would be a deterrent.
Yeah, James got prosecuted for just assaulting a lady. I think it will help. Like here, where we are, you don't just rush on a woman. You don't look at a woman, excuse me, to tell the person, say you're too fat. But in Liberia, they are common.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I can look at a fat one, and you don't just look at a woman, you just slap them a day, or you just you just touch them in a kind of way. But in Liberia, our culture, our immoral culture, we can do all of these things. We can do them and walk away free. Sometimes a man will tell you that he owns 100% right over his girlfriend or his wife. So anything he does, he will go free. And there are many victims in Liberia, most especially in the Leeward counties, that we have not even read about them or heard about them, who are being abused every day. So women in Liberia, basically, men take advantage of them because of the system. The system is not protecting women. Yeah, I was there and I saw it. Girlfriend, boyfriend, somebody will beat their friend. They go to police station. 2 3 days or even less than 2 3 hours. That guy will be coming back. He'll be coming back home. So if we start setting these deterrents and so forth, I think we will have a reduction. There will be a reduction into these crimes. Like I said, from my observation when I was in Lofa to Monrovia, uh, I saw so many deaths coming from Bone County. Last year, another woman was killed because of a jealousy. The husband, I'm told, he did it because of jealousy. She went on a farm in the same Bone County. She went on a farm and he followed this lady there, and she got killed. I think more than 2 3 women got killed last year in Bone County. I don't know what's happening in Bone County. It is not just in this government or Ellen regime. It's been there like rock of ages. People always die in Bone County, most especially women. They just get killed by their boyfriends or husbands.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're having a good discussion. I think this will always come up when we talk about sexual and gender-based violence. We know that power and control tend to be the cause of a man beating a woman, calling a woman out of her name, killing a woman. So, just to put some key words in the heads of our Liberian and in people that are thinking about this matter, is about power and control. So I think James, you brought up a good point. If we can effectively utilize the laws, I understand, as Mr. Falcon did say, there's laws on the book. So if we can effectively utilize it, it can serve as a deterrent, which means it will stop other people from engaging in this act. I have to tell you my pet peeve, and it's when one woman speaking. I hate when men refer to women as my woman, than my woman. So I think that's to me, it's almost like referring it. I know, yeah, Minister Falcon say something.
But that one part you just get ready for it, because
that my woman. That my
okay,
woman.
yeah, maybe it sounds like
Control.
maybe it might sound condescending to you, but to us, the man, and I'm putting myself in that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are looking at it like we're saying something like ownership, like we own you, and you are another human being. How can you be owned?
Yeah.
But we don't see it like that. Don't
Am
see
I
it like
woman?
that.
Why can't you call me my name?
No, it's our bragging right. We want James Goodale Flomo then to know.
That my woman?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my thought. We were showing like we're bragging. It's our ownership. Don't count on this side. You can go all on our side. But we have taken it one. My man, I'm a woman there. I'm a woman. I'm begging you. So it might sound condescending. It might sound not appropriate. Mm-hmm. But in the minds of the typical Liberian man, mm-hmm. he's warning you not to cross that line. That my woman, meaning if you cross it, that means you're coming to where you're not supposed to come to. You will be dealt with. You will be dealt with. That's why you see when they say, man, look at that girl over there. You will yell at Liberian man and say, is she going to the club or she's on it? But when they may emphatically tell you that my woman there, it's a warning to you that if you cross the line, you will be dealt with.
Okay.
Yeah, he takes his from among.
That's something that just sounds really odd in my ears. Just kind of repulsive to me. That my woman.
Let me tell you something. I bet you AB have not said it in front of your face, but he have said similar thing to a man that my older can take care of you.
If I don't hear, that's okay. But
you were talking to man, a great man, I don't. American man.
Anyway, that's that. Just to throw something into the.
You not hear the older that one, right?
Well, that part I can take.
Am I older than that?
I can take because for us being grandparents, I think we can handle that. But yes. So let's move on. I think going into our justice system, James had before we go, LSCC will be the last thing I will keep for our conversation today. But before you guys came on, Kev, there was a conversation about this Mr. Whitfield, who called him Whitfield or Will be, what's his name again, James? Do you remember the man who said he's the national watch position?
Yeah, Whitfield.
Oh, Bobby Wethy.
Yes,
Bobby
Mr.
Whitfield.
Wilfield. Okay, Mr. Wilfield said that he's all of our criticism towards, let's start with his first comment that he made. All of our criticism towards George Weah is because we hate George Weah. The opposition just hate George Weah. It's not because we want a better country. It's not that we have that because we have anything to offer. So, Kefa-san, I want to start off with you. Do you agree or disagree with Mr. Whitfield that the opposition hate George Weah? That's why we criticize him. All of our criticism are hateful.
I do.
So you think that opposition hate George Weah? Like when I come here and say I want change in the government, I want good governance.
When you say things that are not reality, and you criticize things, and you look at some things that supposed to at least commend, and you play politics with it, I have no way to look at it. It just open hate. When somebody look at the Invisible Park, our children going to play there and criticize it, it's just because you don't like the man, you hate the man. You're supposed to praise it. When you look at the field that being constructed right now at West Point and you want to criticize it, you hate the man, or because you just want to just destroy the country. I will not bite my tongue. I say behind. I say in the back. I will say that it's hate. There's a lot of hate towards this person from the opposition black, and that's a fact. You have some opposition that go like Simon Freeman. I would say he talked the issue. He come here on this platform, and I disagree with him, but most of the time, Mr. Freeman go to the issue. Yeah, he go to the issue. You're right. But when you look at development and criticize development, when you look at things, for example, you know that the Western Cluster, the MDA was signed in 2011, and you tell me let's leave that part. Don't forget it. Don't talk about it because you want Joe Buckeye to win, and you only talk about the MOU now, and because you're playing games, and we start playing games with people that hate because of this president. So I strongly believe that from the bottom of my heart, I believe that.
So you think you think opposition hate the president?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, James, today I'll be the last to comment on this because I we are find it funny that you think that. But Kevin,
yes, ma'am. I believe.
Today you want to comment, and we'll let Mr. Falcon, and then I'll close on this subject. That's one of the things he said. The next thing he said, the opposition hate themselves, and he does not see the opposition winning if we don't come together. So you can add all of those things in your conversation if you choose to do that. Good day, go ahead.
All right. First, Kev will support because I Kev root. But I believe the oppositions are not there to praise sink any government. Yes, they can applaud where necessary, but they are not there to praise any government to say, hey, this is the best government, you're doing well. They are government in waiting. And every day when you're moving, they are looking for the little mistake that you're going to make. When you're speaking, the little mistake, your actions, the little mistake, those decisions you will take, the little mistake you will make, they will capitalize on them to tell the electors that, yes, he's not the right person. And I think technically that is what the oppositions in Liberia have been able to achieve. There have been so many losses within the Weah government. Which government will come to power in less than 10 months? Then the president rebuilt his entire home. start to live in the mansion that he never lived in before. Do you think the opposition will come out and say, yes, he's the best president, he deserves to live where he is, he needs to change his home? No, they're not going to do it. Which president will come to power in less than a year? People who never had anything, you see them living luxurious life. You think the opposition will come out to praise that government or the ministers within that government to say they are doing well? Which government will come to power? The entire country economy will be it would just be in the air. No settlement. Everywhere you go, the citizens crying. Do you think the oppositions will come out and say, yes, let's give the government time, they are doing well, and this is the best government we have? No way, it's not going to happen. So I think from 2018, when President Weah took over this country, or took over Liberia after January 22nd, the opposition community has been capitalizing all the mistakes that came up. The mob up exercise. Who would take money in their hand like this and go in the street and say, hey, Jim Flomo, hold $1,000, change it 1,000. Fagon, hold 3,000, change it, Sonny, give me the change. Dada Redezin, hold 50,000, change the thing and give my money. You think the opposition will kind of press you? So I think Bobby is just protecting his job. He's going to election, meaning his party going to election. He has to say something so the president can say, yeah, my beginning working, my beginning talking for honor. So I think that is what he's doing. But what I've been seeing in Liberia, what I covered in Liberia, the opposition spoke on issues that happened. They did not manufacture anything to talk about it. When the Marble exercise came about, they talked about it. They said it was terrible, and they said it was not going to come out with any result, any fruitful result, and we saw that. We covered it. We did not see anything. Citizens cry. People who they said they gave money to. We saw telephone numbers, but we did not see individuals. Oh, Falcon was the spokesman at that time. We attended our press conference, and it was tough. We saw what happened there. So I think the oppositions have been doing what they are to do. They have been on their TOR. They have been doing it in a very good way. All they need to do is to work it out a bit, step it up if they want to put this government out of power so they can be successful. But I think they have been doing a very beautiful job. They don't hit Weah, but they hit the actions, the terrible actions of Weah, or the terrible actions of the CDC's administration.
Dr. Richardson, I wish I could counter this goodish Flomo right now.
Right, I'm telling you. Jeff, right now. You get your minute. Jeff, ready to pick you.
That is why
I didn't counter this.
That is why the likes of
speak on this issue. Jeff, ready time. Go ahead.
Yeah, that is why the likes of Alexander Cummings, the likes of Joe Human Walker, Ambassador Joe Human Walker, and others have been speaking on. The Simon Freeman you talk about. Simon Freeman came out, he talked about the mismanagement of the economy. We saw that. Are you saying our economy is better, or when we came to power, they did well than any other government? One of the most terrible statement I ever came from seditionists was, Weah is the best government, the best president rather, since the independence of this country, and his government has been doing well. Rural connectivity, rehabilitation. We've been seeing seeming rehabilitations going on in the country. When opposition talk about that, you think, is that a hit? It is not. It is not a hit. When Mr. Cummings come out to say, what you're doing, you need to invest into human resource, you think he really hit Weah? A country without a stable human resource or a better human resource is not a country. The workforce of a country depends on a youthful population. If you cannot invest in the younger population to make them, productive, you're not going to have anything. You cannot invest in 45 years, 60, 50. They are not valuable on the job market today. People will invest in from 18 to 35. You have to invest in that, or even you go below to make them prepare for the job market. So I think the opposition has been doing extremely well, pinpointing mistakes from Weah and his cabinet, what they've been doing. And I think it is what it is. All we needs to do is to do what he can. And Fagon was there. Fagon saw it many times. We met at MIGA and we asked questions. The government answered because they were to answer the way they answer. And at the end of the day, the very people who were answering all like that, they saw some ills, they spoke about it, and they got fired. They got
thank
fired
you.
from this.
So, I've just write down your points. Minister Fagon, do you want to respond to Mr. Whitfield's saying that we are hateful? Anyone who's in the opposition is hateful towards we are. We don't like the fact that he has done things for the country. So, and then he also added that if we don't get our act together, we will win again. We has done some good things. He mentioned building hospital. So,
well, let me say this, and I want you to put me on record. The individual speaking is a commodity of absolutely no political value. I repeat, it's a character of no political value. Right now, I can tell you, wherever he is, if you really know him in person like I know him, he not finna let him one cigar. He get a wine glass in his hand. See, they're discussing me now. They're discussing me on spoon now. But because you don't know him like how I know him, he has absolutely no political relevance. In fact, this is the first time that any network will pick up his statement to discuss it in politics. And I'm being real. If you know what WASH Commission is, it is water and sanitation hygiene. Water. He don't even know what water and sewer are doing right now. Neither does he even know how the people putting water in the plastic bag. Let's look at hygiene. Every day you see the manhole there in the center of the road bus, they put water all in front of public works. Y'all put it on the city mayor. He don't even know what happened in there. Let's look at hygiene from the context of the beaches. The program that Zoga Wesin were heading, James, you remember?
Yeah.
They called it Beach and Waterways.
And it became a
fiasco where twice out in the offer couldn't come down. The rain beyond Zoga Wesin was still being Lee slipper behind.
Oh.
I was deputy minister.
Oh.
It happened at the complex. He cut a big toe. That was not fun.
Amen.
So people who sit there and talk don't know. He don't even know about that. Okay? Then let's go to hygiene and sanitation again with respect to the city. That I'm very broad again, call. That I'm very broad. That kind of man can say opposition, he used a very harsh statement.
Mm-hmm.
Hate,
yeah.
Hates.
That's what I want to
mm-hmm. So if $11 million were given to import rice, and the rice income, the people talk about it, they hate Joya.
Yo, that's what he said.
If the people of Bomi, Cape Man, and Bapolu paid they got that $5 million almost 6 months ago, they didn't get it. They talk about it, they hate Joya.
Yeah.
Prince Johnson and $7.5 million that they're talking about now, they hate Joya. The promise that Joya made that he did not honor, they hate Joya. So, my dear sister, when you don't know, you don't know. Because you will keep talking about the MDA the past government signed in 2011. But the past government did not implement it.
You didn't ratify.
And your government came knowing fully well that they acknowledge in the MOU that company bought 49% from the old MDA and that the new one was yet to be rectified. Your government went, took piece of paper, look at it for me, I want other person to look at it. Left the MDA sitting down and brought an MOU to make the people truck iron ore. They gave the people 14 million free. They end up telling the people that dirty thing they call MDA, this MOU supersede it. All I want, they did it. If people go argue like me, I was talking for my people a few days, y'all heard me. So the team want to talk about Western Cluster. That's no admitted that the Senate just canceled. So we hate Jawia because we are opposed to certain policies, like in the case of my people. Anyone who makes such a statement is a person that needs to examine the medulla oblongata because it is like it's not working. If he were concerned about the poo-poo in the middle of the road, in front of public works, or the city sanitation that he commissioned, or the water that going in the plastic bag that people are drinking, his mouth will not be running like that.
Yeah.
And for the network to even live his story, it's a disservice to the Liberian people. Because once upon a time that I served in the government, for about a year and a half, he never had chair to sit down on. I challenged him to challenge me.
Really?
For a year and a half, he never had chair to sit down on, let alone office. I'm a man, I'm Bobby Wefy. So when I was there talking for him, fighting the people there, so I hated Jowiani. I never did.
Yeah.
So again, as always said, you even can bring
No,
sanitation, hygiene, and pupu beneya, and what about the city today? I'm sorry.
Minister Falcon, this was brought up by Yekesi and Good Day in terms of the news for the day. And that's what's on the list for the news of the day, which is what we usually discuss. But I want to go back to Kev because we see that Good Day and Mr. Falcon actually opposed and disagreed seriously with Mr. Wakefield. They say that they speak for the people of Liberia and not hate George Weah. They love Liberia more, if anything, than personally hating George Weah. So Kefasa, I don't know if you're writing down stuff you wanted to respond to James.
I always want people to understand this. I think we have to graduate from that kind of politics if we want Liberia to go further, because we have the youth out there. They need to understand. They need to be educated. When you always give half story, that deception. And when you start to play that, we don't have no other way to say it. You just hate the president. Because my little brother, James Flomo, talk about the mopper exercise. But again, it's my little brother. Maybe he don't remember that the Unity Party did mop-up exercise. They did that. They did the same mop-up exercise. So how can the Unity Party did mop-up exercise and criticizing this mop-up exercise? It's called hate. Simple. How can the Unity Party for 12 years refuse to do certain things and come out and criticizing things they're supposed to take care of? How can Unity Party talk about, oh, no chair in a school? There was students. They're sitting down. I can't. Dr. Ray said, I think you take out your partisan hat. How can a man who treats a woman so bad and turn around and say he's the advocate for that woman? What sense that make? What moral right the Unity Party get to come and tell somebody? Don't people who want to buy that? It's hate. My brother Fagon said, he said yesterday, he said the Unity Party will bring rice to $15 again, without considering that rice price gone up globally. How can how 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 can I place that? How can I place that? Even me, I go into the store. You know, my rice finished this week. I went to the store to buy rice. I'll buy the rice. The rice went up, and then I get angry. There's noise. I got angry. I got angry in the store for what my brother Fagon was saying. I spending money for my package going up. Oh. They made saying a cheap year.
Point of correction, I did not say that. I told
Okay.
you the reason why they want to return is because they left rice at $15. Now rice is at 25. That was what I said. That's why they want to return. I did not say they bring
They
in
can
rice.
bring it. They can
Yeah,
bring it. To,
I
okay.
didn't say that, sir.
Good correction. So make it clear now. He said he's not saying they can bring it 15 because impossible. Impossible. But so Dr. Richardson, we're looking at stuff, right? That the Unity Party people supposed to fix, but now they're saying they can do it. So how can we place that and come out and preaching and saying, John Mano, we are you X, you this, you that, but you were there. Either party people don't have no moral right to speak. Because 5 years ago, they were there. They didn't fix it. Can you blame this president for the field at West Point where people were playing under the rain? Even the president went to watch game there with his own people. He sat in the water and he said to the people, "Yo, when I under my watch, you will not play football under this kind of condition anymore." And he fixed it. The footage out there, we can play it. He fixed it. The people of Liberia, they pray at the Invisible Park. Our mothers, they pray. The footage are out there for peace, for Liberia. And the president fixed that place for our children to play. And the president said, you know what? The people who live here around that field deserve to live in a better condition. And he fixed it. That's what we say. You remember your name was called at that place. Your name was called and said, Dr. Wilson, come and see it. So when you Dr. Wilson, when you criticize people living in their home,
okay,
like
and then I have to say something.
Yeah, it's a hit when you criticize those things. That you go down there and look at our people who were living in the zinc home, were living in that kind of condition, and the person upgrade their lives, and you criticize it. You don't have no other word to use. It's
okay.
To the highest degree.
Okay.
Nothing else.
So the best thing about this conversation is, we have two sides of the conversation. To add my view to the conversation is that hate is such a strong word. I think saying that someone hates George Weah is more from a personal perspective. You are being more subjective about the development of our country. It's coming from your own thoughts and feelings as opposed to looking at the development of Liberia. So when we criticize, and I criticize George Weah, and I believe that I do it from a very objective standpoint in terms of the development of Liberia, because I want Liberia to be better. I want Liberia to be more deserving. I don't think that building a few, and we'll disagree on this, building the invincible park or building a few homes is equivalent to development for our people, is equivalent to the money. I want to ask, like Falcon was asking, When I see every time that we have a rice shortage in our country, okay, and people are saying that we took $11 million out of our donors' money and out of our taxpayer money to pay importers, and we cannot get no hair, no tail, no good understanding of where that money went. It bothers me because I believe if we could have taken $1 million at least, or even $500,000, and spend it into the counties to improve education for our children, or to improve healthcare, that would have gone far better than here we are sitting down, we don't even know where they are. Why do we also have to make noise behind our
So you said the park was not good for our children? That's what you're saying?
Well, you know my position on that park,
Are you saying our children don't deserve to have a park to play in?
There's two things this is two way of communicating now, okay? I didn't say our children don't deserve to have a park to play in. This is you talking. That's what
you just said. You said they shouldn't build it.
Well, that doesn't equate to don't deserve. Your conclusion that you just made is
That's
just
you do have a park around your neighborhood.
You coming to the conclusion of something that I didn't even say. You drawing your own conclusion.
That's what you're saying.
Well, so it's coming from your perspective, how you see.
What are you saying, Dr. Richard?
I am saying that the $11 million that is in question, that the importers are interrupting me now. Okay.
There's $11 million in question.
Okay. The $11 million that the importer said, or they have not even concluded, or they have not concluded.
No importers. Tell us where. Give us the name of the importers.
I will not give you no name of the importers. I know that. Kev, you are interrupting me. You talk. I didn't interrupt you. We have several shows here, and we asked about the $11 million. First, the Minister Tua said he gave it to the Commerce Ministry. Commerce Ministry then said, oh, they didn't know whether the soil got the money or not. There was an investigation that was supposed to happen by a legislator, Koga, on this show. He himself came on this show and he couldn't give us no head, no tail of the money. All right. Later on, Minister Deeks went to the legislature and explained where she thought the $11 million went, but she said she was following orders from the president. So we don't know exactly. We do not know exactly. Okay, it's my opinion.
That's what
where did the $11 million go? You tell me who the importer that it went to. You since you know, where did it go?
It went to the importers.
Which importers?
Listen, the $11 million went to the importers.
Which importers? There's importers in our country, Kev.
Wait, hold on.
No, do you see how you interrupt me when I'm speaking? I'm doing exactly to what you do to me. But go ahead, I'm gonna wait. Tell me which importers and tell me how the breakdown went to them.
The $11 million went to the importers. Let me bring up the commerce press release. So we'll look at the commerce press release. You will see it. It went to the importers, right? And then one thing you should remember: the last budget, not this budget. That's what the $11 million was.
You're teaching the topic here. I'm not talking about which budget we are talking about.
Which importer? Which importer?
Wait, let me bring you the commerce press release of the $11 million. So when we get it, then we can look at it and we can read it and then we can know. Because I know Fagon and you guys have kind of political amnesia right now.
So, I don't have any political amnesia. I'm asking you, but
no, you have it because we have it. So
I'm saying to you that when I ask questions, when I ask for $11 million, when I ask for $7.5 million, when I ask for $5 million, I do not hate George Weah. I love Liberia more, and that's the more reason why I would ask for where is the money and where did the money go.
You said the importer said.
Carry on. Let me just take this phone call here, please.
Yeah, you said the importer said they didn't receive the money, right? And I asked you which importers. and you come back and ask me about
Can you please go ahead and I'm gonna.
No, I think we're waiting for Kev because Kev said he's going to give us the name of the reporter and the importers and the amount they receive. So we'll wait for Kev.
Wait. I tell you, I will tell you the amount they receive.
You said that's why I asked you.
No, she asked the question. The amount. The amount they receive is 11. They received $11 million. That's what they received.
But
they say you should get a knee. You say we should wait. So that's what we're waiting for.
Okay, yeah. But if you want, we can keep the show. I have all my papers here. I will go. We can keep the show.
That mean
Kev has no information only.
No,
so finding the name and
but bring it out.
No, I'm getting the commerce. You see, let me tell you what I want to do.
As you leave, I want to be very clear, okay? That when we ask questions of our government, it has nothing to do with trading. It's not an emotional thing, okay? What hurts me more, I believe, if I have to be emotional about anything, is to hear that George Weah was elected by the people of Newtown and the people who he consider the people that like him, the poor people of Liberia. And you would think, okay, anyone who moved up in society will want to look back and pull the hand of their brother and their sister up. But what is happening here, and as Good Day mentioned, we see our president came up and started, having mop up events in a country that nobody can explain. He started building homes, all right, that nobody can explain. So these are the things that bother us. We want a better Liberia. We want our country to look like places like Ghana. We want our places to look like Sierra Leone. We want our country to at least be on the upward mobility, not where we can go there, we see a big hole on our highway when they tell us to spend millions of dollars or $100 million on
you know why I'm laughing?
I know why you're laughing.
Somebody say, "Kev, please put your dollar test people in that." You got
what? Yeah, we stay with you.
Yeah.
So James, I thought you should be an independent journalist, my brother.
But that's the independent issue.
Because let the pundits do that, man. Don't do that.
We're waiting for the
Let me ask you.
No. We want no question until you find out that letter that say who import us and they break down they learn that we're waiting for.
James, let me ask you something. You remember
No, I can't remember until you can bring the paper out.
So you don't remember that the Minister of Commerce?
We don't remember nothing on this show today. You don't want to remember is you said you got a paper that show how the 11 million was broken down to importers.
I never said the broken down. Don't say that.
Okay, but that's what I was asking for. That's what I said.
I said. Let me bring out the Ministry of Commerce because you made a statement what Mawani did not say. So I said, let me bring up what Mawani said.
No, but many bringing up people.
I never even talked about what she said. I said she went to the legislature.
No, you never. When I debunk you say Mawani did not say it. You don't.
I said she went to the legislature and told her she was following presidential order.
That's why I said let me bring it. Because it's not there. Let me bring it. So I want to look at it and bring it. I have a lot of people here.
Yeah, take your time. Today, Friday show we waiting.
Today Friday we taking our own time.
Yeah, let's do it. I agree. So we can see where she said she was following presidential order from Dr. Richardson. So let's.
No.
That's not what we're talking
about. Where the $11 million went to and who it went to. That's what we're talking about. Don't start changing what I asked.
We'll talk about breakdown. I said breakdown.
Yeah. You said going for the paper to show who the money was given to.
Yeah, but I said breakdown. I said breakdown.
Somebody say my man found the paper today. Yeah.
No, let's do it. I will urge you. I will urge you guys.
Even I'm on Commerce website. I've yet to see that. Maybe they
No,
did not
thank you. Thank you.
update
Yes,
their
you did
page
mention
with that page.
website. No, for
Anyway,
me,
when
it's
you bring it, we'll read it.
yes, we want a better Liberia. That's the whole idea. We want a better. This is not a personal thing, for George we are. And then, to me, I believe that Liberian people have a stake into this whole issue here. Is a lot of times people say, "Oh, it's opposition."
Somebody say you must check all of your chair, Kev. Kev, somebody say you must check all of your chair. I play it, drop.
Yeah, serious about talking about.
But Kev,
you ain't got time for nobody. He's still looking for it.
The thing about it is, the thing about it is,
people from Commerce that is send a release to you quick.
No.
Okay, let me give an announcement. If you are listening and you are working with e-commerce ministry or you know anything about it, just send Kev Assam the release he's talking about.
No,
so
I
he
get
can bring
it.
it up.
I get it. I'll find it. I'll find it.
Somebody said, "Kev, we see our data, man."
No, you're continuing.
Yeah.
No, we're waiting for you.
We'll go to the next topic. Yesterday we started this whole conversation about the LSCC, the decision that the Supreme Court took to overturn, actually to denied the case that the former boss, LSCC boss, Martin, I believe, brought to the Supreme Court. He had argued that the government had no right to deny his tenure position at LSCC, and today the Supreme Court, I believe it was yesterday, said that the government had the right to appoint a new body to reset the LSCC because the legislature had the power to make the law. So if they gave the legislature the power to make the law, and I hope I'm being clear on this because I read the article. That's how I understand it. I think that they said that since it was a law that the legislature made, that gave the president the right to appoint a committee to then appoint a board to address corruption, which should be our new commission. And Mr. Martin, the former boss, was saying, "No, I'm tenure in this position here. You can't just come and yank me out of my position and said it's okay." So he took the government to court, but the Supreme Court sided with the government, stating that the legislature passed the law and the legislature has the responsibility to pass law in the country. So I wanted to know your thoughts on that. Fagon, having read the case, I don't know if you read the case, and what did you think?
Well, there are three separate branches of government we know. One makes the law, one interprets the law, and one enforces the law. The same legislature that made the law can amend the law or repeal the law. Okay? I'm confused because when the Supreme Court ruled, it clearly stated that the legislature, or it says that to the effect that the government had the right to abolish. That's the word I'm quoting.
Yeah,
abolish the LSCC. My contention there was it that the executive branch of government had the right to abolish the LSCC? Because in my opinion, and this has nothing to do with the Supreme Court, the LSCC was established as a result of an act, meaning it's a law that established the LSCC.
Yes.
So now, I believe the president went through the legislature to amend or repeal the law. But what I cannot wrap my head around is, if you today you say, okay, I amend the law, I abolish this law, right? There are people that are grandfathered into laws. Because when the law was established, they went by the law. Yes. So you can't go back now and say, no, This man was supposed to be there for 7 years or 8 years. And because you abolish the law, does not mean you can go back and say, get up, move from here.
Yes,
And that by law.
that was his argument. Yes.
That was his argument. So
yes.
Here is the tricky part from what I read. The Supreme Court ruled that the legislature can abolish the law.
Yes.
Abolish means to say no, it will not exist.
Correct. Yeah.
Repeal or amend means you can change provisions within the law.
Correct.
But then if the law still exists, you did not, the word abolish is what I'm struggling with. Maybe I'm stupid or maybe I'm crazy. But if you abolish something, you stop it completely. So right now, the Supreme Court confused me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to anger anybody there. Did you abolish the law or you amended the law? Did you abolish the law or you repeal the law? Whichever way you go, if the LSCC continues to exist, it means that there were amendments. That one, I don't need to go to rocket scientists. You amended the laws and you put in some provisions. So why now, because you brought these new amendments to the law, you somehow just say, everything now for the old, go away.
Yes.
I don't think, it means you undermine the very law that you made.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm confused. And until I can do a little bit more research,
sure,
I will come back tomorrow to say my peace of mind. But today I've just been confused. So I still have to talk to some legal luminaries and legal minds, if you like.
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that light on, the LSCC saga at the Supreme Court. I just want to support what you just said. I'm reading from an article here that the Supreme Court said the legislature has the unquestionable power. So that means nobody can question their power. Nobody can ask them anything to amend, modify, or abolish the LSCC as deemed expedient in the interest of the state. Now, I think your question, and what my question is, Minister Fagon, is that did they, and maybe people have record of it, did they amend or modify the law because they saw that it was necessary and they deemed it expedient in the interest of the state? Do they have that law that we don't? I have not. I don't know. Maybe I miss it. Maybe it's somewhere that did they talk anything about we're going to stop this LSC law because we now have passed this, we now have amended this law. So again, so maybe we need to do more study on it, more understanding of it.
My thing is, if you say abolish, did they abolish the law and do a new law? Because the LSCC still exists. So I'm confused.
Yeah. So
I'm confused.
So I thought that was interesting, how the Supreme Court just threw it back to the legislature, giving them sole power, because that's the one part they said if any questioning of this law means that we are questioning the ability of the legislature to make laws. That's what they're saying to us. Okay.
Yeah, but you see, my thing is, Martin did not go there questioning the ability of the legislature to make the law. Martin went to the Supreme Court seeking interpretation that laws are made to be kept, and if you cannot keep them, repeal them or amend them.
Correct.
That was his argument.
Yes.
But you cannot go and abolish the law. I mean, you cannot go and say the entity will exist, the entity will continue to move on. You make some amendments, then you do not uphold the part that says he is supposed to be there for so and so time. Remember, it was a law. He didn't go by himself. He didn't break the law.
Yes.
So uphold the law. So if that means if they bring a new law today and say nobody should build Saudi Road again, I mean, everybody who wants Saudi Road will break order.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Today the law takes effect. Today it takes effect. You can't go back now and say the poor who build on the road, you will clear them from there. That's why I'm confused. So I will ask my friends.
Yeah, let's ask them. Yes, and then maybe one day we'll have Mr. Martin come over here and provide more clarity. And James, I know you're coming on this, but I just wanted to add one more thing that um, Mr. Martin argued. He said that the act provided that a commissioner, which he is, shall hold office upon good behavior and shall be removed from office by the president for any gross breach of duty, misconduct in office, or any proven act of corruption, which he argued that he didn't do any of those things. This is why he should have maintained his job. So just because the legislature amended or abolished the law, it was not ground for him not to have a job. That's what he was saying. Good day. Did you want to add anything?
I think I have nothing to say in that. The Supreme Court has come out with the ruling, and he's done. The only solution now maybe is to go to ECOWAS court, but within Liberia, that's all. So we can't go back. You can't take a pew to go where in Liberia, where you will go. That's the highest point. So
And that's what they say. Laws are not retroactive.
yeah, they
So
said
you
it,
see them
and
by
again
way
they're
of
coming
law.
back. Yeah. So
That's
I
why
don't I don't want to dive into what has to do with findings or the final ruling from the Supreme Court, because I don't know. That's it, and we take them to be the best into the legal aspect. That is why we put them there. Those five individuals, since they have come up with it, Martin will do the commentary. We will do the analysis, but hey, we can't go back there and then they say, no, the thing we ain't talking Martin, you win the case. So maybe Martin is putting his team together to go to ECOWAS court, but I have nothing
Yeah.
to say.
It would be nice, Mr. Martin, Clark Martin, if you listen. I know at one time you're here visiting us on Spawn, for you to join us, for you to just tell us your opinion and your feelings about the Supreme Court ruling, and if you have, if you care to share your next move with us. James is predicting that you go into ECOWAS court. That would be great. But it's interesting. We'll stay tuned and we'll keep aware of what is happening with the Supreme Court. Kev, did you want to add anything, or did you find the paper you're looking for?
I'm looking for it. I know James do have it because we read it and we all were on this platform. The press release from the
record, I did not see that paper.
From the Ministry of Commerce, because
specifically I did not see the paper you're talking about.
Yeah, but you know the press release they had under 11 million with Mawani went to the Senate. We talk about it here, but I don't think you should you should pretend like you don't see it, James. Because
okay.
But I will and I will continue to look for it.
All right.
You were talking talking about the LSC, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What role the executive branch had to play into that and in making the law? Right. It was the executive branch or the legislature.
Well,
What role the executive branch?
Legislature made the law. However, the law that they made give a privilege to the president to set up, and I'm just talking from recollection now, to set up a commission to then select people to serve on the corruption agency in Liberia. So, but the question here is that Mr. Martin, who is a commissioner, was tenured. That was a tenure position, and he is arguing that he has no awareness that you can just abolish his law or you can just bring a new law and drop him as a tenure person.
You say he has no knowledge about that.
That's it's my word. And he didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Okay, but then if the Supreme Court interpret the law from the lawmakers, the executive branch has nothing to do with it.
Well, you're right. The executive branch has nothing to do with it. I think that's what FAFSA started. There's three branches of government. But the thing is, this law that the legislature made is giving the president the ability to select, to be a part of the selection people for selection process. I'm sorry, a part of the selection process for LSCC.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past, I do not believe it was like that. If we need someone to assess corruption in the country, especially
In the past, what are you talking about in the past? The
in
former LSC,
the president, there was not, they didn't set up a commission organization
the,
to.
former- the former boss, LSCC boss under the past government said it was a good law. The changes was good. He said on our show, Mr. Brother.
What did he say? Which law did he say was a good law, Kev?
He said it's a good law. The changes they make at the LSCC now, you cannot
Mr. Martin,
you cannot wait. You know,
Martin said that it was a good law. Clark Martin said it was a good law. Is that what you're saying?
brother.
Oh, Fredia said it was a good law, not
Yeah.
Clark Martin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that is. I'm not arguing whether the law is good or not. What we're arguing about,
Yeah.
the Supreme.
But the Supreme Court said Martin don't have no grounds.
Yes, you're right.
Interpret the law at the end of story.
Sometimes some critical thinkers like us like to ask questions. It's not just because the Supreme Court said
it's okay. It's okay to ask questions, but it's also okay to recognize the law.
So the point that I'm trying to make, Kev, is Mr. Martin said he was already tenured, okay, on the LSCC commission. And he was removed from being on the LSCC commission because of this new law. And this is why we went to court saying that I'm tenured. You can't just remove me because a new law came into place. And our question is, what we're confused about, was the LSCC abolished? Was the law amended? Was it repealed? This is where we are stuck. We don't know. We just want to know. If it is, then that's great. Then the Supreme Court
Well, you read the Supreme Court ruling?
I read an article about it.
But then I will urge you, before you debate a question of the Supreme Court, try to read the ruling.
Okay, you tell us. I would like to hear your summary of it since you read it.
You listen to me?
No.
You listen to me? You listen to me? I said, let me repeat. I did not read it. You questioned it. I'm not questioning it. If you question it, don't focus on articles. Read the Supreme Court ruling and see where they're coming from. Then you will be able to make an informed decision.
So Kev, I trust the article that I read.
No, Dr. Wilson, I'm not questioning your article. You can read your article, but read the Supreme Court ruling, see where they're coming from, and then you will make an informed decision.
Kev, I trust the article that I read. I really think the article was a summary of
the article.
Yes, they were quoting different laws in the article. You know what article I read.
Specific ruling of the Supreme Court.
They did. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So I mean, you read it now. So what is saying? The ruling. I mean, you read it. So what is saying? No, because you cannot debate an issue that you're not seeing the ruling of the Supreme Court.
I just explained to you. You're not listening to
why are you bringing up a debate that you did not read the ruling?
I don't have to read the ruling. I can read several different articles that summarize the ruling for us.
I believe in order to have an informed
okay, that's your belief.
that will have to read the rulings and see where they're coming from, then we can make an informed.
We already did that, Kev. Where were you? You see, you are looking for your paper. You didn't even
No,
understand.
I asked you a simple because I did not see the ruling.
Okay, all right.
So I did not read the ruling. So if you have the ruling, let's look at the ruling and see where they're coming from, because they are interpreter of the law. So
Kev,
let them interpret
Kev,
the law.
I'm of the opinion, with all due respect to our Supreme Court, they can interpret wrongly sometimes, and they can interpret rightly sometimes. And I think I'm of the opinion as a
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm doing. I'm asking questions. I would like
to go to the ECOWAS code now, but that's it. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that's what James. That's
and
exactly.
If you go to ECOWAS code, you get no grounds in Liberia.
Yeah. So
ECOWAS code can rule all they want to rule. They ain't get no grounds in Liberia. They can never turn over the Supreme Court ruling. ECOWAS code can never, under the Constitution of Liberia, so they can do anything they want to do. They can go to ECOWAS. They can go to the Supreme Court of the United States. They can fly in the sky. They ain't get nothing to do with the Liberian Constitution. They cannot overrule the Liberian Constitution. And if you want to argue me, I would sit down here and let Fagon lecture you guys about that article. Fagon article 2, right? You lecture your boy.
You don't find a paper.
Don't switch your thing. Don't switch your thing.
No, that's what I said.
See, it's time for you to educate the people you want to away now. You see what we get first?
You see what we get first?
No.
Just say no. I find the paper.
I find the paper here.
Okay.
But let me say this to you. Educate the people that that's the last end.
Okay.
They can go to Supreme Court of the United States. It will not change.
Kev, this is not an argument, okay? And welcome to the show, Dr. Peabody. We, as critical thinkers, were just wondering about the law to terminate Mr. Claude Martin, okay?
The Supreme Court already interpreted that.
And we agree. We didn't want to usurp the Supreme Court decision. We just had a question and we're wondering, and Fagon agreed that he's going to seek further legal minds and legal understanding. I also said, I wonder if that law, I said, maybe I miss it. I even said, maybe I miss it.
Fagon just trying to.
Maybe I missed it. Oh my God.
He's trying to butter you up. He know he can read one legal mind, so long as the Supreme Court not speak, that's it.
You speaking for Mr. Fagona? Okay. Mr. Peabody. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm joining you guys late. I've just been working very late today.
I know. I can tell. It looks like you're in the office, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's,
yeah. Well, we were about to go to the phone line.
I think it'll be a good thing. But I think if a decision had been made by the Supreme Court, I think the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of the.
Exactly.
So if a decision was made by the Supreme Court, then I don't know. There's nothing we can do. You can change it. But as I said the other day, I have my own reservation when it comes to some things about the Supreme Court, because a lot of things has been confused in certain decisions that have been confused. We saw the issue of Brown and Summercard, and it was just a back and forth things. We saw other stuff. So, well, that's the law. If the law is the law. If the Supreme Court says it, we may have our reservation, but we just have to go by what they say. That's my.
Yeah. And the questions weren't trying to question, the judgment of the Supreme Court. We were just kind of exploring and critically thinking about, how the decision was made. That's kind of what we're doing here. That's what this show is good for. We come here, we ask questions, but it's not, to change the Supreme Court. So that's what we're doing. We're just concerned and just asking. Moving along, we want to go, James. We want to go to the phone line while Kev continues to look for his paper.
We're gonna go to the phone line. It's not gonna be an easy phone call coming in, So but we just people gotta be.
specific
people.
question that I'm asking today. The
Yeah.
question is, Kev had mentioned that every time we criticize we are government, we are being hateful. Okay, we are hating
Wow.
the. He
Like,
agreed. He
like,
agreed.
I,
He
I,
agreed.
I think we'll like everybody here. Let's further discuss and leave that phone line a little bit. Let's discuss. I mean, you all my time.
No, I think we should give the audience an opportunity to call in.
Okay.
There may be a lot of uh, challenging questions and things that we say, but I hope we can regulate it and keep it to the topic. That's all.
Well, so the question is for me.
Yeah.
Do the viewers who are going to be calling in, they have to respond to and strictly respond to, do they feel that
I believe you take my paper from you.
when people question when people question George Weah, when the opposition question George Weah, does that mean that they hate George Weah?
Wow. I don't know why. Isn't it something that people can have the reservation about certain things that a president would do? Does it mean if I disagree with Kev, if I question
No,
things about Kev, can you give me a thought? I just got it all.
listen, Dr. Peabody.
Uh,
He said when you disagree with John, we had to be hit that. That's not the question. That's a red meat way you sending it. That's for people to say that. No.
That is what Mr. Wayfield said today. He said the opposition are hateful towards George Weah, and I'm quoting. This is what I heard from
He
either.
said they are hateful, but he's not saying because they question.
Hateful towards George Weah. Whenever the opposition are hateful to George Weah when they question or criticize.
Did he say? Did he say because they question George Manuel Weah, so they hateful?
He also further said that they hate themselves.
So read what he said.
Also hate George Weah. George Weah have done a lot for Liberia, and he included building hospitals. That's what he said George Weah have done.
Yeah, but he said when you question George Weah, then he hateful.
And he also said that if the opposition do not become united, that means that George Weah will win again. That's what he said today. So, of course, I wanted to ask Liberian people when they question or if they are opposed.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
How you tell me how I ask my own question?
Yeah, but if you say it that way, no, even Judge Manuel Weah will not tell you if the question in there me they hit him. Then you ask it wrong. Then you send it.
Okay, so should I ask the people who were calling are they hateful to?
No, but if you have to be specific from the gentleman that made that post that you're reading. So don't say he say if you question Judge Manuel Weah. No. Judge, you were sitting right there with Judge Manuel Weah saying it's okay for people to question him.
If you oppose Judge, this is exactly what this man was saying. Anybody who
not what he was saying. What he's saying on his post. You have to read it.
You have that because I can't. Can you have? Was it you that said that?
This person is saying, "Oh, you oppose me, that you hate me." No. That's not what
Yekesi. It was Yekesi that you. Oh, no. It's Yekesi. Can Yekesi come? Maybe he can.
The man who get free, the person who signed into law.
Yekesi, please come on.
I would say hate. Don't say that, Doctor. Just say the man who signed in.
Yeah, please, there's chance now. Yekesi will kind of tell us. I know I wrote down.
Yekesi come and say something.
Towards George Weah, that's what. Anytime when they oppose,
Yekesi come on.
No. The opposition is hateful towards George Weah.
Wow, that's a very strong. That's a very strong word.
He said because you question me. No, like the people you were there. You were there when the president says okay.
So what did he say? What did he say?
You were there. That's the reason you were there.
They just hateful towards George Weah just because they want to be hateful.
You know why? You know what we're talking about hateful? When you see some good things and you criticize it with no reason, that hate. For no reason.
But then in the city, I see careful.
No. When you criticize, No, what the man is saying is different. What the man is saying, you read what he's saying. I'm saying to you, ask a question. I'm saying to you, right? Like for example, if you look at people who live in a good home at Popo Beach at behind the invisible park, and you criticize that, you cannot criticize that. You cannot criticize that person who live in a 2-bedroom, well furnished by the president, and you criticize it. You got no reason to criticize it. That's it. No reason.
So are you agree with me then that even if someone lives in a 2-bedroom, according to you, and criticizes the fact that they live in a 2-bedroom, they are hateful?
Yes, if the president,
Okay,
if
that's the question I want to ask.
president puts our people, yeah, that's the question. If the president puts our people in a 2-bedroom from a zinc round home and put them into a well decent place that have flush toilet, have everything furnished, and you criticize that, you hate. That's a hate. Not only to the president, the people themselves, you hate them. Ask that question.
Well, you're not going to be able to determine what I'm going to ask, okay? My question is,
the people themselves, you hate the people.
Criticize.
Unless you know what suffering is. Dr. Everybody live in refugee camp. Maybe Dr. Dr. Everybody live in refugee camp. They take you from that. They take you from under the zinc while you put your cup under water falling down, and they put you in a home.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Peabody, you criticize that. That's it, Dr. Peabody. You understand the suffering.
The fact is, we just got to define the difference. What is to criticize and to hate? I did the same thing. Do they stand for the same thing? I think they are both different. Criticizing just means that you have reservation on something, and and to hate people is something a lot more personal, so I don't think the meaning.
Yeah, good day. Let's go to the phone line.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, when people provide suggestions for improvement to our government, does that mean that they hate our government?
Dr. Rizzi, you buttering the thing now, you making something now. That's not what the process I will tell you, if you provide good idea and it's not a hit.
Yeah, good idea is very, very subjective. Do you know that? You know that you talk as if the world is just black and white. That the fact that people live in their apartment, you say, are well furnished, according to you, the people shouldn't have no complaint. They should be happy that they got this apartment that is well furnished. We don't know that. We never. You did a survey of them. Have they told us they're happy? Are they living well in those apartments?
Because Dr. Richardson, you asked a very brilliant question. Because I can tell you something. There's a guy who's sitting on this platform right now. His name is James Goody Flomo. James Goody Flomo. He went there. He interviewed them. It's on tape. They were happy. This man, this Goody Flomo. I remember here I spoke at back. He went there. He said, let me go. He interviewed them. People are happy. This Goody Flomo. Tell him he lying now.
No, I'm not going to tell him he's lying because I critically think the time that James Goody Flomo went there and today, okay?
Oh, they were happy then. They didn't happy.
Well, it's possible, Kev. We don't know what happened between the time that James Goody went there. I study behavior. I know when people see new things, they tend to have this sense of euphoria.
But you see,
but when you settle in this new thing, when you settle in this new thing, and then you know what it is to be in the new thing, and you're not getting any support, or you're getting support, you may have a change of opinion.
You see, right, Dr. You see why I was forcing you to go there? Because I was avoiding this kind of argument. You see why I was telling Dr. Richard, please, can you go there and talk to these people? Can you go to the Center of Hope and see the building? You see how I'm forcing you, my sister? The reason I was doing that, so we can save time, you see? But the next time you go to Liberia, seriously, I'll find somebody to take you there by force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently, maybe I guess good is not responding to the phone because I see you calling. Dr. Peabody, did you have anything to add? We had a series of discussions here today. We started talking about good governance in the country. James Goodday, Minister Fagon, and I had a different opinion about good governance compared to Kef. Kef argument was that Black Africa, the citizens, are not taking enough responsibility for their country. They may not be, and this he didn't use this word patriotic, but I'm using it enough to abide by the laws of the country in order to bring in investors and to bring in investments. And so that was the first one around the first conversations we talked about. Did you have any thoughts? Because I guess we went going to the phone today.
Oh, we're not going to make do the phone line. Okay. But I think when it comes to, we see what's going on in our country, especially when it comes to good governance. We, let me say this, that it's been a challenge when it comes to good governance in Liberia. It's been a challenge in the previous government. It's been a challenge. It's been more of a challenge in this government. We have seen a lot of things that have fell by the wayside or overlooked. Some of the institutions that was put in place have all gone down. We see the issue currently with the Liberia anti-corruption, the court case, and some of the recommendation that he made that was made for folks for corruption and all of that. We see that have not been implemented. We see a lot of other stuff. So I think it has been a challenge, a lot more challenge for this government. And previous government, President Sally, they put in place some, but even with her was a challenge. But I see a lot more challenge when it comes to good governance with this government. We see a lot of things that happen. We see our justice system. It's not to pile. We see a lot of on cases where people are either acquitted. We see corruption in our system. Everywhere you turn, it's some money got missing. Some people that were even uh, sent to court, they had managed to get their way out. We see a lot of things going. We see audits and things that have not taken place in several places. So I think it's a more challenge for this government, and I must admit that they've done well in some area. They've done some well in some area, and I always talk about the freedom of the press. It's not 100%, but you see how we sit up small and we can pound this government and and stuff like that. They've done well in some areas, but I hope they can do more. I think there's more that they need to do, pretty much.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. We are now going to move on to just closing remarks since we can't find our phone people. Yekesi, we can't find Yekesi to go on to the phone line. Mr. Fagon, I don't know if you want to come back. We're now going on to just our closing remarks because it's 6:10. We want to be out of here by 6:30. So Kef, I'll go last, but I'll like if you want to do your closing, you can go ahead and do that, Kef. Because you already not giving me headache already, so that's why we're closing.
Yeah. I wish I could. I was actually, looking in the chat room for the information because I couldn't get it on my bunch of emails that I get here. But it's not surprising for if you're folks from the opposition side. It's not surprising to not remember that there were press release from the Ministry of Commerce. Dr. Peabody, you remember there was a press release from the Ministry of Commerce when we were talking about the rice issue? You remember that press release?
What to talk about meeting with the importers and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There was a something that came up, a release that came up. Yeah, but it was not. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing, Dr. Richardson. Maybe I will not blame you. You are not. Maybe you are not on the show. Um, but we had a press
Yeah,
release.
we're not going to turn this conversation around.
That's my closing now.
Is we're talking about the $11 million.
That's my closing now.
And you said no because you asked Dr. Peabody because you asked and you said, and I want to just clarify the issue for Dr. You said
I tell you, my closing the ones I
that
did close.
down how the $11 million went to the importers, and this is where we ask you to find the paper, the press release that show us this breakdown. And you cannot find that paper because there's no such document that says that this $11 million that came from the government went to X importer, Z importer, or Q importer. There's no such thing, and this is why that leads us to this curiosity about where did the $11 million go? Where is this money? We don't have any answer to that. We had series of shows here, which is what we talk about, Peabody. I'm sure you can remember where we have Miss Senator, I believe he's Senator Representative Cool Guy. He's on one of the committees in the House of in legislature, and he said that they had given certain amount to the Commerce Department and certain amount went to certain people, but we never got no hair, no tail out of the story. I don't know if you can remember that correctly. The next thing we look, there was a hearing that happened, and it wasn't even clear if the money, the $11 million, was distributed to the importers. It was just, the commerce minister was just explaining her role, her duties, the rice that came in, and how the rice come in, the shipment of rice and how they came in. That was my understanding. So I don't know if you remember that, Dr. Peabody. That's what I said. So Kev was looking for this paper that showed the breakdown of the $11 million. He never found the paper, so that's why we are here.
Right.
So go ahead.
Right.
Closing.
But Dr. Richardson, you I don't mean it in a negative way, but it's a positive way. You're a well respectable, woman. I think our words should be, our bond. I never told you. You talk about breakdown. I told you the 11 million were given to importers, and you asked which importers. I said, let me look for the Commerce Ministry when they went to the Senate. But when you are at the Senate, they issue a press release. That's the press release I was looking for. It should be a bunch of my papers here. We talk about it. I asked Dr. Peabody. He remembered there was a press release about the $11 million. We have the importers then. We have Fuani, all those people who are importers then. None of them came out to tell you that they did not receive the 11 million. You can ask
them. Come out, Kev. You and I know that they will not come out. I know they will not come out.
Yeah, but
if, to come out.
But if you say
to lose their rights to be imported.
Let me close now, my sister.
How are they going to challenge the people who are supposed to be paying them? Think about it.
Okay. Listen, Dr. Richardson, you said on the show you don't know what the 11 million. You said on the show they never gave. So I ask you the question: any importers in the Republic of Liberia made any complaint that they did not receive?
You never asked me during the conversation. I asked you, then said,
you see, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, Dr. Richardson, but Dr. Richardson, let me finish now, man. Let me finish now. You know, okay, you talk about it, and I ask you that question, and not only today, Dr. Peabody can bear me witness. I always ask that question on this show, and I'm going to ask you again. If you cannot produce any importers who complain of the $11 million. I think you're playing politics because you have Fuani and others them who import rice and all those places them. Uh, Nobody complained. And Mawani and the Senate called Mawani and they questioned them. They issue a statement about the $11 million and dollars. And the $11 million was in the budget, the last budget. And they paid for it. And she acknowledged that. Simple. And Mr. Honorable Koga came here. He had one or two discussions. He came back the next day and he admitted that the $11 million was given on the show. So the argument we should close the argument. I know it's a sweet politics for the opposition, but the Liberian people bought rice for that price that the government subsidized. It was clear. But again, if you want to play politics, you will play politics. The rice internationally gone up. That's a fact. The only people who have that mentality to try to fool the people is opposition want to use that. And some of the things the opposition don't know about the Liberian people, that the Liberian people are smart enough. Now they can take their phone and Google rice price. They can sit in their Thai shop and Google rice price. They can see it. If our opposition, I want to make that kind of cheap.
Okay, you got about 2 more minutes.
That kind of cheap argument. So, Dr. Richardson, but again, it's a good show. We had good debate. But I can go back to this. We all need to play parts in the development of Liberia. You have to take Liberia as your personal property. What that means, that when you go into Liberia, you see things. Don't say, I will sit down there, things for that government. Imagine you people watching the country meet. You see some people who stand on the bucket seat, on the chair, daily the chair. Go back to the World Cup. You see, I think it was South Korea area. You see where they finish, they start cleaning. The tapes out there, the footage out there, they start cleaning. They try to clean it because they want to. They know that they were assigned that seats. As long as South Korea is playing, they will come there. So when they finish, they clean it. But in Liberia, they will climb up on the seat, they will step on the seat, delete the seat, and the next day they say, why you can't clean it? Let's take care of our own, man. Let's do that. Don't mess it up. They will spoil. They come and ban our stadium. Then you turn and say, look at our government. But you forget that you stand up on that seat and break that seat. Let's take care of our own. That's all I'm saying. We do it in this country. We do it every day. My last word to that, I told you, I drop a paper on the ground. This guy came from far away, and he said, "Shame on you." I pick it up. I do the same thing. Thank you, Dr. Richardson.
You're welcome. Go ahead, Peabody.
Well, I don't know what I have much to say. I haven't been here too long, but just want to say it was a good show, and thank you for holding it down. But let me also say here tonight, at this time, there has been some challenges for Spoon at this time, and to our audience, some of the questions you are asking. We want to let you know that some of your questions will be addressed next week on the show. We'll make reasonable effort for you to address it and for you to come up with whatever question you have. We ask that you continue to watch the show and let us know, but we read your question and we'll definitely try to address it. Thank you.
Okay, James, good day.
Yeah, the show was good, and I hope to see you all again tomorrow. And thanks to our followers who turn up and those who will come later.
Yeah, thank you. Minister Fagon?
Thank you for the invitation today, and let me say thank you to all of you who made a contribution. Let me say to the Liberian people, the reason we come here is to talk about Liberia, to discuss the issues relative to our country. The fact that the CEO of this network was charged does not mean he's automatically guilty. If he was, he would not have addressed you last night. I'm by no means trying to insinuate that the Americans do not know what they're doing. What I am trying to say to you that even in our laws, a person is not guilty of a crime until he is handed down, he or she is handed down guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. Howbeit, as you can see, he's not on the show tonight. We are here. What are we talking about? We are talking about our country. We are talking about the things that matter to you, the Liberian people. And what I have gathered from some quarters, and those who call me to say, leave from there. I said to you, you are wrong. I said to you, you don't want us to discuss Liberia. You don't want us to talk about the things in our country. So I put it to you, God forbid. I repeat, God forbid. I say for the third time, God forbid. If Stanton Witherspoon was to die tonight, are you suggesting that Liberia will die with him? That we will not be able to talk about our country? That we will not have a voice? Is that what you're asking us to do? I believe this platform will remain. I believe this platform is here. And even if Stanton was to go away today, we have the moral obligation to our people to allow this platform to live. This is a place for the exchange of ideas. This is a place for enlightenment. This is a place for education. This is a place for democratic debates. This is a place for you versus me on the issues. Today, we saw exactly what it means to allow one group of people to take over the information and run with the narrative. Kev, bring the paper you say the people are on for 11 million. He's still looking for it. What if we were not here tonight? I said to you, tonight, we were able to talk about a woman who cannot talk for herself because she is deceased now. Tonight, we were able to talk about 3 counties who perhaps will never get their 5 million. But the operations of a company was suspended. If this platform wasn't here, where would Prince Johnson have said his comments? Where would he have had the opportunity to speak? How would you have listened to Jeremiah Kuhn last night? How would you have known about what happened in the Western Cluster deal and what happened to the people of Nimba, Bong, and Grand Bassa? My friends, I am not here because Stanton Witherspoon is here. I am not here because Stanton Witherspoon has left. I am here on this platform because this is where we sharpen the debate and draw the line contrastingly to help our people make informed decisions. The head of the Water and Sanitation Hygiene Commission said those who criticize President Weah hates President Weah. Well, I now know today that he hates President Weah also because he criticized President Weah and his government for not giving him a chair for a year and a half to sit in. I know for a fact that members of the opposition don't hate President Weah. That President Weah knows that they don't hate him, but it was President Weah who set the tune that said those who criticize him hates him. When he referred to them as what? Enemies of the state. Let me close by saying that tonight I'm on this platform not because I don't have integrity, not because I don't have morality, but I have compassion for my country. And this platform talks about my country. And anywhere my country is discussed, I will be there. As far as I'm concerned, when you look at the electoral map today, from October until now, the Coalition for Democratic Change have ceased to exist as a political party. With few days to the nomination, the party cannot tell us whether they will be the President Weah will be nominated by the coalition or by the Congress. Today, I know that Nimba will not go George Weah way until he realizes that they are the second rich food county in the Republic and recognize that they too have educated people as opposed to the Southeastern Company that he brought upon the people. I know Lofa is the fourth vote rich county. Fourth will not vote for him because they didn't vote for him before. I know that Bone County have sent a message to him that he has done nothing for them. I know that the Western Cluster, Rob Bombing, Kipma, and Bapolu. And from the records, Bapolu did not vote for him in the first round. He won Bombing by just few thousand votes, too. He won Kipma by a few thousand votes. To be precise, 4% and 5%. So in these elections that is coming, if you cannot win Lofa, if you cannot win Bong, if you cannot win Nimba, and you cannot win Bagibi, and you don't win Masorado, Bomi, Cape Town, and Bapolu, my friend, you can kiss the president and say goodbye. Because the people you're running behind to sign papers are leaders. The constituents will decide. I respectfully submit, and thank you for having me.
On that note, I have nothing more to add but to tell Kev, find the paper. So goodbye, everyone. Thank you, viewers. We shall see you tomorrow.
I will get it.
Everyone. It was good seeing everybody here today.
Good to see you, Dr. Richard. Thank you for holding
the
that
most
down.
funny thing to that, someone say, Kev, for your daughter, test paper them back.
Well, let me congratulate.
All the paper there, Holly, all the paper there.
I am telling you, you got plenty of people in the house there.
Let me see how I take the. Look.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
You see, I have to. I get everything in my drawer here. You see, Dr. Richard see? The plenty here. Look at it. I have
Oh
to
my
do.
goodness.
You get it one with a mop up exercise?
I want to congratulate.
To debunk all you guys. I have here.
What did they say? Dr. Peabody, you trying to say something, yeah?
I want to congratulate Mariah Yakula for
Yes.
passing the bar exam,
Thank
for the
you.
exceptional grades that she made, and also the new counselor in town, Counselor Mariah Yakula, and all the other counselors today. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mariah. Thank you
Congratulations, Mariah.
for reminding us.
Yeah.
Mariah, two congratulations for you, yeah.
Yeah.
One for me, and the other one for your best friend.
All right.
Someone is traveling today.
Thank you for the closing, and Peabody, thank you for the closing. That was
Thank you.
needed. All right, we'll see you guys. It's for the sake of Liberia that we're here. Hopefully tomorrow we're here and we shall see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless everybody. See you.
Yeah, guys, please come on. All right, Kefi, go see you tomorrow.
All right, see.
Yeah, let me try to get Yekezi. Oh my God. Well, many thanks to all of you for being a part. We hope to be back tomorrow, and the team will be here to talk more about it. So in Liberia, as soon as we get Yekesi, then he will take control of the FM, and we will call this a day. So this is Spoon Talk. My name is James Samuel Gode Flomo.
And Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
Yekesi, come on.
Spoon.